Hello, I'm Ivana. I work for the Early Years and Childcare Service in Suffolk, and I support the settings with their SEND training. And I'm delighted to have with me today Rachael, who's the Special Educational Needs Coordinator at Anglia Sunshine Nursery in Sudbury. Rachael, welcome. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself as a SENDCo, how long you've been the SENDCo, and a little bit about your nursery, please?
Yeah, I work in a private day nursery in Sudbury, Suffolk. I've been here 19 years and I've been a SENDCo that long. So covered lots of families with lots of different needs over the years. We have babies, a toddler room, 2 to 3s, and then a younger preschool and an older preschool. I think all the children are included in everything, and we just adapt things and change things to suit the needs of the child, whether that's differentiating activities, whether it's changing the layout slightly and just thinking about what we can do to support that child, but also supporting the family as well. That's sort of the biggest part of it, because a lot of them come sort of so little, we're going through the whole process with them, so quite often it is us who recognise that there could be a need for an assessment or getting outside professionals in, and I think working with the families sort of in that way has really helped. And a word of mouth, when you've got children who are here and parents sort of know other parents with children with additional needs, they'll often say, look, the nursery helped me do this, and that's how a lot of our children have come through here. I think that's because we support the family as a whole. So it's not just it's just the child, it's helping parents, signposting them and supporting family members, and so they can all come and be part of the nursery. The nursery as a whole is a very family orientated place. I mean, a lot of us have got children here, and a lot of us have had our children here and they've come back. Obviously we've had a stair lift put in place for children with mobility issues. It's more trying to ensure that you're providing the correct curriculum and education side of it for all the children, but while also supporting the children, because it can get quite disruptive and chaotic if you've got children who you're trying to support who are climbing and throwing and that sort of thing, and you're still trying to run alongside the mainstream preschool because that's what the child is in. But the staff are really good and know the importance of sort of supporting everybody, and we have enhanced ratios, working with outside professionals coming in to help our staff understand why we do things sort of we're doing. And we've had children who have needed hearing aids, and we've had teacher of the deaf come in and teach us how to use the mic pen and how that can help, but also to teach the other children. If you want to talk to so and so, if you ask one of the grown up, they'll let you talk into the mic so they can hear you better. So that's building up the relationship. So it just takes away almost the nervousness some of the other children might have, because it just becomes part of that so and so. That's what they need. That's what they need while they're at nursery. Yes, and it just becomes an everyday thing. We're learning something we might have tried with somebody that doesn't work. We're like, right, well, we can try this with another child. When you've had children, say that we've had a lot of children on the autistic spectrum, and because it is such a big spectrum, what might work for one doesn't work for another, but you've got lots of different things we can try just from experience to try and support the children best of our abilities. So.
And last year, our service nominated you for the Early Years SEND Award for the setting for NASN, the National Association of Special Needs. And out of the whole of the UK, you won that award.
Yeah.
How has that made a difference to your staff and you in the setting and what you're doing in inclusion?
I think it's made the staff realise how much we do. I think it's something that they've not necessarily noticed that we do it, because it's not something that's been recognised before. It's just something that happens. And I think that they've realised that we do it well, and that not everywhere supports children quite the way we do, and that it's something we really sort of strive to keep going. I mean, it's hard when you've got so many different rooms and you have got children with additional needs in every room as well. So you're supporting right from the babies. There might be some physical support where we've got physios and OTs coming in. So it's trying to explain to the staff sort of their roles as well, right up to the older ones going into school. And so it's supporting the children going off into school. So it is, I think it's just brought it to a head about the amount of work that we actually do. So when I go in and say, right, this is happening, and they're more understanding now and recognise the difference it makes to all the children. It is hard. It can be hard work, but when you make such a difference to that child and that family's lives, it is so worth it. And it's just the little things. I mean, a lot of our additional need children, the other children are their role models, and it can make such a difference to their lives. It can be a battle trying to get funding and trying to find the right people to support these children, but it just makes such a difference. And when, like you say, you've still got families in contact when they've gone off to school and all grown up and everything, you can feel you've done your job well. Yeah, so for all our children in preschool, after we come back after Easter for the summer term, we contact all the local reception classes and just sort of say, oh, we've got some children come in. And some schools want to do their own thing and say they'll sort out their own transitions. Some, we have the teachers come in, they have a chat with the key people. For children with additional needs, I found that there's some of the schools just make more time. It's just about having that bit more time. They might need that few more transition visits, that few more times where they come in and work with us and share all the paperwork. So when you sort of hand them over, it feels like you're handing them over to school. You know that they know that child as well as you do, because children are different at home. When they're with their parents, they're very different to when they are with other children in a setting. So I think it's so important for the teachers to be able to see how they are here, to know the best way to support them in school. But we're lucky we've been doing it so long, that, and so many of us have got children, we've got good relationships with all the schools in the local area, and they are really good, because if they come September, if there's something the first sort of term, they will ring up and say, can I just ask, how would you cope with this, or how would so and so deal with this normally, because we're struggling with this bit? Or, and I think that's really important, that it's not just you're gone, off you go, they don't feel like they can contact, because it might be that when a child started here, they might be behaving the same way as what they did when they started school. They might be fine by the time they're here, but quite often they show the same sort of characteristics when they started. It's a different setting. So it's just trying different ways to help them manage their behaviours. I think for parents as well, obviously going from nursery, I mean, all parents going from nursery, when you get the feedback and you get to go into school, it's always a bit of a shock, because they just go in and then they come out. Whereas here, there's sort of parents come different times of the day, so they're always seen in and they're always seen out, and you don't always get that sort of whole conversation about what they've been doing the day when they're all in and out at the same time for school.